Yeah, I know exactly what you were going to say, and I must say that I totally understand the map pick for Tigerclaw for the second game of the match because here we have the ramp that is not as wide as the ramp on Tal'Darim. Of course, there is no ramp on Tal'Darim. You just have a flat piece of ground, which is harder to defend than this very comfortable map we have on Ohana. And Immortal Sentry pushes or any kind of gateway all-ins on this map are ridiculously strong versus Zerg, coupled by the fact that there are destructible rocks in between the third and the fourth bases of, the second and third bases of the Zerg, which he has to account for. If those rocks are still in place when the push hits, then oh my god, are you in trouble.
Indeed, and Fluttershy in the previous game did go for I believe, a 13 pull, so that was quite a bit more early than usual.
Yeah,
So he probably won't go for something quite as early this game since he knows he won't have as high a chance to get into his opponent's base. So he will more than likely go for the 15 pull, 15 hatchery, 16 hatchery, depending on how he feels about the game. And there he goes, putting it
right
down
there,
actually on a 13 again.
14.
So he's going for very early pull timings against Tigerclaw.
Yeah, yeah, it was put down on 13. Yeah, you saw that correctly. I was just thinking it's going to be 14, but no. So the only adjustment we have to make, oh my god, and it's a gateway expand. Okay, gateway expand when the gateway is on the low ground. You cannot hold an early pull like this if you don't build your wall off ASAP and then go with the Nexus. If that gateway was in the main, then you just chrono out 2 zealots, you're fine. Because you can micro with your probes and your zealots, and you can even get a forge on the low ground in the meantime. But as it is, I do not really think this is totally safe, and it might prove troublesome. And taking 2 gases? No, it's just an extractor trick. Almost got me fooled there. I was almost fooled into thinking that Fluttershy is going for some sort of a one-base all-in.
No, that's definitely not Fluttershy style, but he will be heading in with the 4 Zerglings across the map soon. And considering his opponent hasn't made a forge yet or anything of similar sorts, he might catch his opponent off guard. But Tigerclaw might see this as the start of some sort of very aggressive play, so he will put up a wall. And there he goes, putting down the second gateway before he's even got down his expansion. So just the small things that Fluttershy has done here has made this into more of a one-base play, since technically Tigerclaw is playing like he would one base. He's got his gateway, he
Yeah,
got his gas, then he got his cybercore. There's no expansion, so
there is no expansion, and I think he needs to be chrono boosting out this Stalker actually to be in time to chase away those links, because otherwise they will just, if microed correctly, should eat away the Zealot and stream through. Luckily, there is not more links than these, because otherwise, that Zealot would not stand long there without that Stalker support. And there, wow, actually,
Fluttershy slips through the gap, but he won't get any scouting information off in the main base. He wouldn't see that the Nexus is currently full on energy, which would make him
oh
believe
no.
some sort of 4-gate or something similar is coming. But he has seen the Nexus, so he knows that his opponent's Nexus is delayed. He takes his own hatchery, and the timing of Fluttershy's expansions has been perfect in correlation to what his opponent has been taking. And Fluttershy is just going for a heavy roach attack now. He knows his opponent can't have cannons, so he knows that
Yeah.
at this point, if he can do some sort of aggression with these roaches, he will do a lot more damage than most players normally would.
He actually, the timing of the Roach Warren correlates with the finishing of the Warp Gate, sort of. It depends on the chrono boost spending, but there is about 40 seconds left. If it would have been chrono boosted, then it would already have been done, and it is just now that the Roach Warren finishes, and if need be, he can start Roach production immediately. So he knows exactly, depending on the timing of the Cybercore, when he needs to throw down that Roach Warren to be safe versus gateway attacks. I was kind of scared when I saw Fluttershy putting down that third base, but then I saw Tigerclaw not putting down additional gateways. He is instead
Did
getting
did
a Twilight Cancel, and
Tigerclaw
there's a
just
Nexus
cancel his
cancel.
Nexus?
And he says, "Oh my god, that must have been a mistake that OMG tells the story, because he's only on 2 gates. There he throws down 2 additional ones, remakes the Nexus, but this is going to cost him the game."
But
Uh,
he's gonna move in. He's gonna have a sufficient amount of units to be able to put a lot of pressure onto Fluttershy's third, and he might be able to just recover slightly by doing this, but he's 20 supply behind his opponent. Fluttershy is so far ahead, and the units are going to start streaming out for Fluttershy now. As long as he micros this correctly, he's going to be able to not save that one roach, but the rest of the army should be capable now it's back onto creep.
Yeah, Fluttershy is ahead in both workers and the army tab. Workers lost show that only 3 workers were killed by Tigerclaw here, and he has to warp in what zealots? He should be warping in sentries.
Absolutely. Right now he needs some sort of big defense against his opponent. He's stockpiled so much money because of these small blunders, and he's not got the capacity to fight off any sort of all-in that comes from Fluttershy. Fluttershy can just either get ahead via economy. He's already a base ahead of his opponent and capable of just taking a 4th base because of how far delayed any attack that Tigerclaw makes will be.
Yep. Meanwhile, he is getting his lair up, so he is preparing to transition into the lair tech. The charge is moments away from finishing. 1 or 2 more kernel boosts on that will speed that process up even more. And it looks to me that that he's going for some sort of a gateway charge lot, almost an all-in. I mean, there's not much he can do in this situation now. The roaches don't have speed, so the charge lots will catch up to them very easily. But they do not have +1, so any kind of Zergling defense should be quite efficient versus this army composition at this time.
But once Fluttershy gets his lair up, he's going to be in a place to get aGEillyrea or his Mutalisk. So either one of those units will be very effective against everything that Tigerclaw has at the moment. And Fluttershy is pretty much just pushing towards that ideal drone count. He's at 67 now, just needs about 10 more and he'll feel very comfortable with himself. And I can see him just selecting his drones at his bases, checking saturation, ready to start putting into gas.
Yeah, he should do that momentarily. Those gases finished quite a long time ago. Still not seeing any lair tech. Oh, excuse me, there's the roach speed, so he will probably wait for that. Link speed has been done for ages already. He's also getting the +1 range attack, so most probably will not be going with a heavy link composition unlike last game. He will be relying more on the roaches, seeing how far behind his opponent is. And here's a huge gateway attack coming. +1 is still not done. Now will Fluttershy identify this correctly? There he sees the charge. All those roaches will just go down so fast.
On the other
This
side
charge, let's go there.
Tigerclaw pinned in an awkward position, and now, just because they're ranged units, they'll be able to defend this easily. But more zealots come in and get the surround, and Fluttershy's looking in an awkward position now with so many units around him. But Fluttershy's army, it doesn't have any upgrades yet.
No, not yet. The Hydra range started, and basically Fluttershy needs to hold on, needs to survive until he can get those Hydras out. Those Hydras should melt through those
19 roaches have just arrived, and Fluttershy will be able to slowly start grinding against his opponent's army, but as long as he can defend this, then he wins, and that attack up into the natural is not going to go very well. He needs the rest of his forces to come with it, and his only hope now is to be denying the natural, and Fluttershy has the capacity to pull his units around, go expand round at the X o'clock position. Where is that set?
Oh my god, he's constantly getting surrounds with the zealots on these roaches. And the third will go down, no doubt about it right now for Fluttershy. Actually, Hydra's not the best choice of unit for him right now, because Zealots are pretty good versus Hydras if they can make contact, and with charge, that's not going to be that big of a deal.
Absolutely, Fluttershy needs to pull back to somewhere that has creep and maintain his presence there. And if he can just hold this ramp very well, then he's in a good position. He has so many roaches now, he's at double...
Yeah.
He was at double the supply of Tigerclaw before a warp happened, and he's back at double the supply. Very good control, and Fluttershy is pushing his opponent back despite being on 2 bases, and Tigerclaw's going to have no way to follow this up. He's going to have no tech.
I think Tigerclaw actually should be pulling back right now, otherwise, yeah, and there's the GG.